Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends. Welcome to another presentation of the Yeshiva Gdol, the Skype, this worldwide yeshiva that I am zocheh to be a member of. And I thank everybody for the positive feedback that I've been receiving. It confirms my suspicions from years already that I could be a television personality, and I don't even own a television. So, Baruch Hashem, a lot of people are watching, and they're enjoying, and they're learning, and we're growing hopefully together, and many people are joining the actual yeshiva, and I'm getting more emails that people want to learn. Baruch Hashem, yeshiva's growing and growing, so I thank everybody and invite more people to join. It's really gewaldig. So, I would like to thank for the sponsors who are making this whole thing possible this year. I'm going to dedicate to my sweet friend, Rav Moshe Yehuda ben Peshadina. Such a sweet, amazing boy. You should be zocheh that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be Mamali, Mishalos, Liba, Latova. And very, very soon, we should all be receiving an invitation to his wedding. And to my sweetest and most beloved friend, Reb Chaim Shrek, who is something very, very special. So I thank him and others who at this point will remain nameless. As they say about the Hataras Nidarim, on Erev Yom Kippur, we want to be matir all of our Nidarim, we want to release ourselves from all of our vows, but we say they are too many to name. So we will just say a general thank you, because there are too many people to name. In this week's Parshas Sav, Shabbos HaGadol, it says, Ubasar todas shlomav biyom karbono yochel, lo yaniach mimenu ad boker. That when you have your carbon toda, you are not allowed to leave it over to the morning. You can eat it all night, but don't leave it over till the morning. Rashi says, Ochel hu kol halayla, im kein lama amru ad chatzos. So if you're allowed to eat the carbon toda, this Thanksgiving offering, not only given at the end, on a Thursday at the end of November when the Lions are playing the Packers, but given when you have to thank Hashem for a nace that He did for you. So why do Chachamim say to eat this Thanksgiving offering until Chatzos? The Torah says you can eat it until the morning. Why are the rabbis firmer than the Torah? And the Torah says eat it till morning. The rabbis say no, only eat it till Chatzos. And Rashi says Kedei laharchik ha'adam min ha'aveira, to distance a person from sin, because it's sinful to leave the meat of the carbon until the morning. And in order to make sure that the person doesn't leave the carbon all the way until the morning, the rabbis made like a cushion and said, eat it only until chatzos, only until midnight. Ad kan divrei Rashi. Rashi is truly a wonder. Rashi assures us in Sefer Bereshis that ani lo basi ela lefaresh pshuto shel mikra. Rashi is just coming to explain the simple meaning of the pasuk. And here Rashi says that you're allowed to eat it until the morning, but why does the rabbi say in the Mishnah to eat it until Chatzos? What was the problem with the pasuk that Rashi needed to tell us that no, the rabbi said to eat it until Chatzos? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? The pasuk says very simply, don't leave it over lo yaniach mimenu ad boker. And Rashi says, you're allowed to eat it all night, but the rabbi said until Chatzos. That's not a problem with the Pashup Shad in the Pasuk. Why is Rashi bringing that in? He's basing himself on a Medrash. But Rashi only tells us the simple meaning. Rashi's in here for drashas. Another interesting point to note is that it says here, Lo yaniach mimenu ad boker. Whereas this issue is known as the issue of no sar, as opposed to yes sir, no sir. No sir is said in a different context by Korban Pesach, where it says, Lo sasiru menu ad boker. You use the lashon of hosara in numerous places. Shmos Yud Beis Yud, there in Chav Beis, Lo Teitzu, by Parshas Haman, Vayomer Moshe Alem, Ishal Yoser mimenu. So use the lashon of hosara, and here it says Lo yaniach. Another interesting point to note is that Rashi in the Maseches Brachos and Daf Beis says that all the other karbanos that are only allowed to be eaten until Chatzos and not until the morning are learned from the Korban Todah. How does Rashi know that? Maybe they learned from the Korban Pesach. Korban Pesach also says that we're now allowed to be Mosir ad Boker, And the rabbis say, it means until Chatzos. The Mishnah says all Korbanos are until Chatzos. But Rashi says, the paradigm is the Korban Toda. What's unique about this Korban Toda? One last note, that not only does it say here, Lo Yaniach, and elsewhere it says, Hosara, but more than that, here it says, Lashon Yachid, you, the individual, and elsewhere it says, Sosiru Lashon Rabim, the many. Mori Rabbi Shlita, in the year Tavshin Ayin Beis, in his weekly Chumash Parsha Shir, gives an enlightening answer based on a Kli Yakar. A man comes to the Beis HaMikdash and he brings his Korban Toda. He's feeling great about himself. He said, I'm on top of the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu performed a miracle for me. And he looks around him and everybody else is bringing Korbanos. Why? This guy's bringing a Korban because he's Mechal Shabbos B'Shoigeg. Oy vavoy. And this guy's bringing a Korban, an Asham Shivcha Charufa. Yeah, he was with a Canaanite maidservant when he shouldn't have been. And this guy's bringing a Korban, an Asham Me'ilos. He misappropriated temple property. And this guy, everyone's bringing a Yoledes, Achatas Yoledes. She was giving birth, she was cursing her husband. So many different people are bringing Korbanos. He's bringing Olah for a Hirura, he had a bad thought. They're all bringing Korbanos for sins. And he goes in there and he's thinking, I'm the man. He swaggers a little bit. I'm bringing a Toda. God did a miracle for me. Me and God were like this. He's doing miracles. I didn't sin. I'm au contraire. I'm not a sinner. I'm a great man. God does miracles for me. So he might feel a tinge of gaiva, the arrogance of haughtiness. That's the worst of the world, the worst possible meat a person can have. So when he brings this Toda, it's dangerous. There is danger lurking in the temple. Dun, 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 dun. He might think he's better than everybody else. So therefore the Torah says, a lashon of yaniach, lo yaniach mimenu abogam lashon menucha. Menucha's Shabbos menucha. Vayanach b'yom hashvi. He's going to feel complacent. He's going to feel smug. He's going to feel like he's the man. He doesn't have to worry about anything. And then what might happen? Because he might become full of himself, he might leave it over until the morning. And therefore the Torah says, Lo yaniach. Don't feel such menucha. Lashon yachid. Yachid is a yachid, a skula, a very special individual. Nobody's like me. Elsewhere it says, Sosiru Lashon Rabim, you're one of the many. Here, mi yidmeli u mi yishmeli. Ich ben a groise yesh. Ani mishu mod miyuchad. I'm the man. So it says, Lo yaniach. Don't have such menucha. Don't be so complacent. You might leave it over until morning. And therefore this is the paradigm for all their korbanos, because this is the most dangerous situation. And everyone else has learned Xeris HaKosov. And therefore Rashi had to say it here. And the rabbi said until Chatzos, because he's explaining why does it say Yaniach. It says Yaniach because he's going to get very complacent. And since he's going to get very complacent, that compelled the rabbis to say only until Chatzos. That you better leave yourself a cushion of a few hours, you better eat it before Chatzos. That explains the Lo Yaniach. So Rashi is really explaining Pshuto Shel Mikra. So we have a very, very important lesson from here, students, friends. And this is Shabbos HaGadol. Shteit in Zohar, Man Dihu Zohar Yu Rav. The smaller you make yourself, the greater you are. You are where you eat. We eat on Pesach matzah. Matzah is a flat piece of cardboard. And that's what we should feel that we are. We're nothing. There's no gaiva, there's no fluff, there's no haughtiness, no arrogance. And the smaller we become, the flatter we become, the greater we become. That's the secret. That's the paradox of growth. That the less you are, the more you realize you're nothing, the greater you become. Who is the greatest man of all time? Moshe Rabbeinu. Who is the most nothing man of all time? Vayish Moshe Anav Mikol Adam Asher B'nei Adama. Moshe Rabbeinu. That's the secret. That's the secret of the Korban Toda. That's the secret of Pesach, of Shabbos HaGadol, of Gadlus. Gadlus is making yourself small, and we should all realize what we are and what we're not. Be humble, give other people tremendous covet, but for ourselves, who are we, what are we? And in that schus, like Rav Kook writes in a beautiful passage in the Shemona Kavatzim, that the greatest simcha one can reach is when he feels anava, that he's nothing, and he just wants to lishtava begufa de malka. He just wants to be submerged with God's greatness because he realizes what true greatness is. And in the schus of our humility, we should be zochem mit Hashem to the geula hashlema b'mheira v'yameinu. Amen v'amen. Shabbat hagadol shalom, sweetest friends. Shabbat shalom, and where we will be zochem mit Hashem to be filled with simcha tamid.